That would have been question 6, letter C. Okay, that type of angle we have not covered yet. How to find an angle formed by a tangent and a chord. So everyone take a look at PAB for me. PAB. Notice how that's a tangent and a chord. If you treated it like an inscribed angle, you are correct, but it's not an inscribed angle. I'm going to go over that today. But if you treated it by taking half of arc AB, you were correct. All right, let's open it up. Let's go. I don't have much to say here. We got to practice as many of these as possible here. And there's 46 of them online, remember. Anywhere we're going here, 6, 7. I don't want to be the guy that says, "All right, how did you do this, Meg?" 6A, finding arc BD. Arc BD. All right, so I got to figure out what they gave me. That was 15. AC was 70. Arc AB was 40. And CD to BD was 3x to 2x. All right, I have information about every single arc up here, and they all add up to what? 360. So I can take 40 plus 70 plus 3x plus 2x, set it equal to 360. Solve for x, plug it back in, and you'll have arc BD along with arc CD. So you have the first two done. There's no diameter here, so I can't set anything equal to 180 degrees. Good? Okay. Yes, Maggie. 6F, which is how to find APB. Yes, I can. Here we go. APB, a little interesting for APB. ABP, excuse me. This angle right here. I haven't given you anything to solve that. Like take half of this, add these together. I have never given you anything to find that angle, but you could still find it. Look at the angle next to it. Look at the angle next to it. What type of angle is next to it? We know this angle. What is it? That's inscribed. How do I find an inscribed? Half the arc, which is 70. So I take half of 70, I get 35. And what's the relationship now between these two angles? Linear pairs, they're supplementary. So I can do 180 minus 35. Let's start. Hey, today I'm going to drill this home. Get in the habit of, hey, I may not have a rule for it, but you're darn right I can find angles around it. Okay? So maybe the angle next to it in this case was an inscribed. Or maybe you have two angles of a triangle and you could find the third. All right? Maybe that's how some of you went. Now you could go back and find PAB. Actually, never mind. Yeah, you can. You can find PAB because now you have 15. You got whatever this came out to be. 145, and now you're finding the third angle in a triangle. Okay? So don't get in this mindset, I need a circle fact, I need a circle fact. You may not. You may not need a circle fact every time. More questions we got to go over. Go. No issues on, I was a little worried about one of the questions here. Yep. Thank you, Dewey. How'd you find C, everybody? That's what I would like to know, other than from the answer key. How'd you find C? AD 100, angle E 20, finding AF. Okay, all right. Well, here you go. That was 80. That's a diameter. It creates a semicircle. Let's see. This is 100, central angle. That's 8. I'm just filling. I don't care what it says over there. I'm just filling in things I know. And then where did I go from here? Oh, right here. Everyone, what type of angle's right here at DAB? DAB, what type of angle? Inscribed, it's half of what? 80, so that's 40. If that's 40, what's the one right next to it? 140, I'm almost there. Everyone see this triangle right here? How many angles do I already know? 2. Add up to 160, what's angle B over here? 20, why is that so important? Because that angle is drawn to what arc? AF, that's inscribed. So what do I do with the inscribed angle to get to the arc? Multiply by 2, and that's how I got that arc to be 40. You're going to be able to find it today a lot quicker once I give you some new rules, but that's the way we had to go about that one. Finding as many angles as we can to get to it. Anything else? Good question there, Dewey. Anything else? Okay, I got to see it. And then it's taking it to another level. Just Not toughness-wise, but just more rules. Here we go. Inside a circle, let's go over real quick. If I'm inside a circle, there's only 3 types of angles that can be formed. First type, central angle. How do I find a central angle? It's equal to its arc measure. Equal to its arc measure. What's the second type of angle I could have inside a circle? Inscribed, how do I find it? Half its arc. And then yesterday we said there's a third kind, which is floater. I add up its arc and its vertical angle's arc and multiply by 1/2. All right, well, there also could be an angle outside the circle. Okay, that's our focus today, is how do I find an angle outside, basically any other type of angle. How do I find it if it's not inside the circle? Before I show you that, what's a tangent again? Tangent line, don't say anything. Tangent line. 8, tangent line. Hi, Colin. How do you know it's a tangent line?
Oh, it intersects the circle at one point.
Name a tangent line somewhere on my AB up here. Good. We got a new one. Intersects the circle twice. We got a new line. Intersects the circle twice. You want to try to pronounce it? Go right ahead. Secant. Not a secant, secant. All right, a secant. That is a line that intersects the circle in exactly 2 spots. Okay, so you got the tangent that intersects it in 1 spot. Secant intersects it in 2 spots. All right, up on your paper right now, you have 3 different diagrams, all of which have an angle outside the circle. All 3 diagrams have an angle outside the circle. First thing I need people to tell me is, how is that angle formed? Tangent, secants, chords, whatever it is. So how is angle B formed right here? By 2 what? That's what I need to know. 11. It's formed by 2 tangents. So this is an angle formed by 2 tangents. On the outside, 2 tangents. How about my next diagram? How is angle A formed on the outside? What are those 2? 27, what are those 2? Tangent and secant. Nice job. Perfect. And then how about this last one? How's angle A formed on this third diagram? 19. How's that formed? 2 secants. Nice job. Good news. The outside angle is found the same way every diagram. It does not matter how the angle on the outside is formed. It is found the same exact way. You tell me an angle's on the outside, our discussion is over. It is found the same way every single time. How? Actually, I'm just going to go diagram by diagram. So here we go. Angle B. What'd you do for the floater angle yesterday? What'd you do with the 2 arcs? Added them. If the angle's on the outside, you're going to subtract them now. All right, that's the difference. You're going to subtract them. So it's still going to be 1/2. But now, instead of adding 2 arcs, you're going to subtract them. What arcs are you going to subtract? The ones that are in between the angle. So can anybody tell me the bigger arc that's in between angle B here? ADC. So I'm going to take ADC, and I'm going to subtract the smaller arc from it, which in our case is AC. Next, angle A. How do I find angle A? Is it on the outside? Okay, don't talk anymore. It's done. It's going to be 2 arcs subtracted. So this is going to be 1/2. What's the bigger arc in between? BD minus arc BC. Done. I don't care how it is formed. If it is on the outside of the circle, we subtract the 2 arcs and divide by 2. Final one, angle A. What 2 arcs are we going to subtract now? CE minus BD. Meg.
Are chords just secants, but
They're parts of secants. Like BC is a chord, but ABC is a secant. Here, sorry. Okay, so you can think of a chord as part of a secant. All right. Everybody good? Okay, so summing this up for a theorem, angle on the outside is equal to half. Anybody know the answer when I subtract? What that's called? Like sum is addition. It's half the difference of the two arcs in between. Okay. Quickly, yesterday we talked about a floater angle. How is a floater angle formed? It was the intersection. Look back if you need to. It was the intersection of two what? A floater angle. Two chords. All right, so I'm missing a couple combinations right now. I have two tangents. Yesterday was two chords. I have a tangent and a secant, and I have two secants. I'm missing a combination. The next combination is right there in front of you, and that's how to find an angle formed by tangent and a chord. Yep. Okay, how do I find an angle formed by a tangent and a chord? This was the one I said you might not be able to do yesterday on your homework. All right, tangent and a chord. Let me go back to the homework example. That was PAB on last night's homework. Everyone, you can just take, you don't have to go back. Everyone, PA, tangent, ABA, chord. And the answer was 20 degrees. And the arc was 40. You tell me the rule. You take half the arc. It's like, hey, it's like what rule? What rule do I take half an arc for? Inscribed angle, but do not get fooled. This is not an inscribed angle. Somebody tell me why. What has to be the two sides of an inscribed angle? Chords. AB is a chord, but PA is a tangent. So it follows the same rule, but it's not called an inscribed angle. All right, so this is just going to be half its arc measure. So if I want, in this case, if I wanted to find angle CAB, how are you going to tell me to find angle CAB? 1/2 of its arc, which is 140, so that's 70 degrees. And there's one more combination to discuss. Chord and secant. And hey, you guys think I just heard a beep? Oh, it's inscribed. That's not the one I'm talking about. That's called inscribed. That's formed by the two chords. I'm talking about angle ACB here, champs. That's what I'm talking about, ACB. Yeah, we could talk about ACD, but I call it inscribed. ACB, I hate to break it to you. This is the bad news of the day. If I'm asking for an angle formed by a secant and a chord, sad news. I got nothing for you. Got nothing for you. But I'm still going to ask it. Somebody asked this question on homework. Who asked that question on homework? No, not Dewey. No, the other person. Maggie asked it. What did we do? You may not be able to find ACB, but you can find ACD, which is inscribed, and then you can, what's the relationship? Supplementary. Okay, there's no rule, but you can probably find the one next to it, which will be inscribed, and they'll be supplementary. Okay. Whew. All right, hey, Calcs, let's go. Calcs ready to go, because I'm not stopping this train once it starts. Okay, here we go. We're not stopping now. All right, we already did number 1. That's an angle formed by a tangent and a chord. What was the rule again? Half the arc measure. So quickly, that's 70. Great job. All right, I'll clean up your questions on number 2. I'm looking for the major arc, AB. Okay, major arc, AB. Major arc, AB. All right, here we go. Let's get in that mindset. Oh, 19. How is 160 degrees formed? By a what and a what? Chord and a tangent. So I know my rule for a chord and a tangent is take half the arc, but I'm looking for the arc. So to 160, I don't want to take half of it. 29. Calm down, boss. How'd you get it? Thank you, Dan. Just busting out answers there without any explanation. That's not how we roll in geometry. Thank you. Are we all good? Tangent and a chord. Next one. Find x. This is what the mindset's got to be right now. 28. Inside or outside? Angle x. Outside. I'm not asking any more questions. I know how to find an angle on the outside. I do what to the arcs if I'm finding an angle on the outside? Subtract, subtract, subtract. Name the 2 arcs I'm going to subtract. Bless you. 19, on fire today. What 2 arcs am I going to subtract? 90 and 20. The bigger one minus the smaller one that's in between angle x. Got there. Thank you. I'm done using that. So we're looking at 1/2 of 70, also known as 35 degrees. Boom. Oh, now we get nuts here. That was a nice basic one, and then I just said, all right, enough's enough. Let's get crazy. All right, 28. Start us off with this. Where is the 38 degrees, inside or outside? Outside. How did I find 38 degrees? I took half of 2 arcs, and I did what with them? Subtract. Angles on the outside, I'm going to subtract. All right, here's where it gets a little crazy, though. I know I'm going to subtract 38 from not 38, x, excuse me, from the bigger angle, or bigger arc. Yeah. What about that bad boy right there, huh? Because it's not 360 minus 140, because you still have angle x there. That's not going to cut it. I can't just do 360 minus 140 and get that arc. Well, there's 360 degrees. Well, let's do 360 minus 140. What do we come up with? 220 for these 2 arcs. Everyone agree? Well, I just called that arc x. And I know they add up to 220. Suggestion for that missing arc that I need now. Here we go, 21. Suggestion? 220 minus x. Everyone all right on how we got there? So I'm going to say 220 minus x, which is the bigger one, minus the smaller one, x. And just like we did yesterday, how can I get rid of the 1/2? Multiply both sides by 2, so I have what, 76 equals 220 minus 2x. Nothing gets touched inside the parentheses. I'll let you guys take over from there. $28. Let's roll when you're ready. 72. Can I get a confirmation on that? We're good? Not that I didn't believe you. Next up. Ooh, not too much info there. All right, 29. Where's the 60? So I found it by adding or subtracting 2 arcs. Darn right. And I already know the smaller arc I'm going to subtract is x. So minus x. But what about the rest of it? And use our last problem as a good example. What about this arc right here? I need that one. Suggestion? Anything? 1. Hey, Meg.
Hi. You could do 360 minus x.
There you go. Both arcs total 360, so I can do 360 minus x minus x. There you go. Multiply both sides by 2. I get 120 equals 360 minus 2x. And then you guys can go nuts now. Ten when you're ready. Okay, we'll wait. What is it? 120. Can I get a confirmation there? Okay, everyone all right? Because now it gets serious. This is where we separate the men from the boys here. Sorry, ladies. Okay, I don't what the girls from the ladies from the girls. I don't know how the other saying works. Sorry. Okay, here we go. A through F. I do not care what A through F says. What was the key to success yesterday on these big circle problems? Finding the arcs. I do not care about A through F until I find the arcs. Whoa, boy. Yeah, so AB is congruent to AD. All right, that might be something there. And then A to B is 150. Right, it's got to be the minor one, right? Ooh. And that's all I gave you, huh? Good time there. Okay, let's talk. Let's start talking here. I also gave you this fact. What are AB and AD in the circle? Yeah, they're congruent. Thank you for the update, everybody. What are they as far as the circle goes? Segment AB and segment AD, they're what? Chords. And this is why these are so tough. A theorem we went over maybe day 2. If the chords are congruent, so are the arcs. Thank you. Yes, so what other arc is 150 degrees? AD. Congruent chords imply congruent arcs. All right, now let's start this train going right now. Here we go. What other arcs can you find now? Remember, you got a diameter in here. That's key. BD is 60. How'd you guys get that? Yep, I had all the arcs but one, and they all add up to 360. Can you label another arc EA for me? EA? Why 30? Again, what's EOD? That's huge. EOD. Diameter, that's a semicircle, adds up to 180. So that's 30. And I think I've found, oh, nope. I'm not satisfied yet. I need EB. I need every little arc here. EB. EB, 120. Because you had the 30 and the whole arc was 150, so the rest had to be 20. Am I satisfied here? Do I have every single little arc I need? Yeah, looks pretty good. All right, let's roll. AD, already found it. A to D, $150. All right, here's where we start getting crazy now. Angle BAD. Everyone stop. I got questions to ask. 13, BAD, inside or outside? 13, inside. So I got 3 options. Is it central? Inscribed. Got it. So I'm going to take half of which arc here? BD, which is already labeled as 60. So that's going to be 30. half of 60, which is 30 degrees. Again, you just found an angle, plug it into your diagram. You may need it later on. You never know. 30. Are we going too fast? Everyone good so far? Buckle up. We got to get to F. ACD. Two. Here you go. ACD. Inside or outside? Okay, we know how to find it now. I take two arcs and do what with them? Subtract them. I just got to find the arcs. And then this may be helpful. Maybe a colored pencil or a highlighter comes into play to find the arcs. Trace angle ACD out and see which arcs are in the middle. All right, name the degree measures of the two arcs in the middle. 29, what are the two arcs? Okay, so 150 minus 60. Half of 90. We're looking at 45 degrees. We okay so far? Got to know those rules, huh? Got to know them. D. Angle EFB. Here we go. EFB. 26. EFB. Inside or outside? Inside. So ready? Here are your three options. Is it central? Is it inscribed? So it's got to be A. Floater. You guys let me know. What do I do with the arcs on a floater angle? Add them up. Add them up. What two arcs should I add up here? Its arc and its vertical angles arc, which would be what two up here? 24. No. How about 3? Which two arcs am I going to add up here? 120 and 150. I'm going to take half of 270, 135 degrees. How we doing? We still got 2 more to go, but we're hitting every type of angle we could. EDA. Okay, EDA. Who are we going to hear from on this one? Oh, 19 again. Inside or outside? Go through the list. Is it central? Is it inscribed? Yes. So I'm going to take half of which arc now? 10. Half of which arc? EDA is inscribed. I'm going to take half of 30. So that angle's 15 degrees. And we got one more here, huh? 24, great job. 19, on fire. EDC. There's 2 ways we could do this, because we talked about it today. What's ED? Diameter, and what's CD? Tangent. So it's kind of like a tangent and a chord, because the diameter is a chord. And what was that rule from today? A tangent and a chord. What was the rule? Half its arc. And what's its arc? 180. So I could take half of 180, or I could know the theorem which says what? Radius drawn to point of tangency is perpendicular, forms a right angle. So that's 90 either way. So 2 different ways you could get to that. Whew. Questions? All right, let's go. Go. You're on your own now. You're on your own. I'm going to warn you, you better be careful on question 2. It looks pretty easy, but and on question 1, to get you started, you may want to start with the floater angle to find X first, because you cannot find Y first. You got to find X first using the floater.